Star Trek Adventures.
Davok, your sensor panel lights up. Incoming warp signatures.
Time to go!
There are 3 warps. No, there's 5. No, hang on, there's 7.
Captain, we need to get out of here.
There are 12 warp signatures coming in, and they're coming in hot. In addition to that, 8 neutrino signals surrounding the ship appear.
What are those?
8.
12 possibly Federation ships and 8 warbirds are just about to decloak.
Yeah, can we walk out of here, please?
Indeed, 8 warbirds do appear surrounding the ship, and dropping out of warp are another 12 Dderedex warbirds. You are being hailed.
On screen.
The commander of a Dderedex warbird appears in front of you. Federation ship Livingstone. You have violated the neutral zone. You have destroyed Romulan warbird, and you have committed eco-terrorism on a planet close to our borders. Surrender now or prepare to die. And at that moment, everything stops, as if time stands still. There is a bright flash of light, and the four of you find yourself in a strange, unknown black void. There's nothing. You realize you're not even there. Physically, you can't see yourselves. You're only aware of each other's presence in a way that you can't really fathom. You can't see, you can't move, you can't speak. And yet you can see. You can see that...
Are we in New Jersey? What happened?
You can see that you're in this black area, and then materializing in front of you is a red satin chair.
Ah, yes. That's enough of that, I think. I hate it when my favourite shows get cancelled too early. Oh, but I'm sorry. I should introduce myself. I'm Q. No, not that Q. I'm always being mistaken for him. You can call me... Q. Now then, I've been keeping half an eye on what you've been up to with those parasites. All very entertaining, I can assure you. I mean, Spotty here has been doing a tremendous job in lieu of Liara. She isn't any Sleeping Beauty, by the way. It's all been a bit of a ruse. But you'll find out. Maybe. And of course the mighty Bosh. Smarter than your average Ferengi. We all know rule of acquisition 33. It never hurts to suck up to the boss. Well, just consider me the boss of the universe. Because I am. And ever-logical Davok. Still a lieutenant. You'll be giving Harry Kim a run for his money if you don't get promoted soon. You hear me, Wraal? I said... Oh, never mind. You'll figure it out soon enough, no doubt. And of course, my reason for being here. Livingstone. The man with more secrets than anyone. Or have you now? I'm afraid I stopped watching for a short while the Two Brothers was on interdimensional cable. Have you told them you're a Terran from what you hilariously and completely incorrectly call your mirror universe yet? Not that you are a Terran. Exactly. But you are. Sort of. Anyway, I know how fragile your corporeal bodies are, and indecision can be a huge source of stress on them. You see, Captain... Oh, may I call you Captain? You see, Captain, Varen has been wrestling with a dilemma. As the ancient Earth philosophers, the Clash, postulated, should he stay? Or should he go? But I'll let him expand on that. Don't want to give away any spoilers for Season 2. And remember, Livingstone, I'll be watching. So keep it entertaining. Enjoy!
Holy
As you
shit!
find yourselves
Brilliant.
back on the bridge of the Livingstone. But there are no warbirds filling the view screen, or indeed on the sensors. In fact, there is only one ship in front of the Livingstone at the moment. It's a Defiant class vessel. And as the designation comes up on your screen, Amy, or Davok rather, you get the designation NX 7035 ISS Livingstone. And that is where we leave Season 1.
Woohoo! And there we have it. Oh my goodness. Opener to Season 2. That was the end of Season 1. We just recapped there. Who's hyped?
What?
I'm hyped.
Yeah.
So hyped.
We're all hyped here. Oh my goodness. It's been a few weeks. How's everyone been keeping?
Good.
Very busy, but apart from that,
Yeah,
all good.
absolutely. Awfully busy. And looking forward to getting back into
Yes,
comfortable spots and a chair.
just
Mm.
having dice in the hand again is a really nice.
Yes. Oh, clickety clacks. You like the clickety clacks. Well, my goodness. I just realised I stopped the title sequence a little bit early, so I'm going to.
Did.
I did. So I'm going to set something up. While we're doing that, my goodness, how did we feel about the end of season 1?
Better than the end, better than the bit at the end of season 3, if you ask me. Of Next Generation, I'll just put that now.
better than the best of both worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. Amateurs compared to this.
God.
I mean, I thought you were going to say much better than about 2 minutes beforehand when 12 Romulan Dodero decks were suddenly in front of us. That was
if ever I needed a cue to pop in and save the day, that was absolutely there. Is there a bit that says Q turns up? Ah, he does.
Just to correct, 20.
20,
there were
yes,
12
sorry.
of them that warped in, 8 of them that decloaked around.
Decloaked, yeah. We were boned pretty much whichever way you count it.
In deep trouble.
That was the plan. I didn't want to make it easy on you, of course. Oh my
By the way,
goodness.
that even Davok's remarkable Vulcan cool starts to waver in that. Looking at the repeat there, and we need to get out of here.
Yeah, why are we moving? Like, seriously.
Don't ask for directions, just any directions, go.
Yeah, no, lots and lots of fun. Now, probably the more eagle-eyed viewers out there will notice we are currently a player short from what we were in season 1. We are, yes.
Oh.
Even though we are. Usher basically, he's got so much going on with life, with work, and what have you. He's had to take a bit of a step back, unfortunately. But we wish him all the very best, and we're going to be carrying on as we are anyway. My goodness. So Alucard says there's a fine line between Davok's calm and Amy's panic.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it's not that Vulcans are without emotion. It's just
Very strong emotions. Very strong.
They do. Much stronger than humans in many ways.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now we got a new title sequence which we didn't show anyone because I edited the video too early.
I was wondering.
Should we have a look at the new title sequence?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Let's have a look at
Nice to see that. Well, if everyone would like to turn to their StreamYards, we can go over and have a look at the new title sequence. Here we go. There we go.
Awesome.
Oh, brilliant. And yeah, Alakar has said he loves your sitcom laugh, Matt. Definitely. Definitely. And yeah, hello, Captain Quinn. And, well, hello to everyone who is joining us this evening. Gosh, here we are, Season 2. Well, I don't know about you lot, but I'm ready to jump in.
Yes.
Me too.
Right. Well, as with all episodes, we start with a log. So again, if you would like to turn to your StreamYards players
Oh,
Cheeky.
and mute yourselves, thank you. And here we go.
Hello there. Now then, I've always wanted to do one of these. Q's log, stardate 571. No, actually, I much prefer the human's Gregorian calendar. After all, I was single-handedly responsible for its implementation 800 years ago. A hilarious practical joke that the mathematically challenged humans still haven't worked out yet. Still, it was worth it. After all, I think the papal hat I wore was, when posing as Pope Gregory XIII, was rather fetching. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes. Q's log, 25th of February, 2380. Around tea time. I've been keeping half an eye on the crew of the USS Livingstone, a Starfleet, well, sort of Starfleet vessel, which was sent to investigate some neural parasites that were starting to infiltrate Romulan society. Not quite sure why they bothered, to be honest. Romulans are fairly boring most of the time. This might have made them a bit more interesting, at least. Nevertheless, the bridge crew of the Livingstone seemed intent on helping, unaware that their every move was being monitored as a kind of test. Oops. That's something they haven't discovered yet. Hopefully they will. In time. They certainly managed to handle the situation, though, and whilst it was unconventional by normal Starfleet standards, it was exactly as expected by their watchers. Despite the enormous stresses put on poor Wraal, being thrust unceremoniously into the captain's chair like that, and good old Bosh being a complete fish out of water as a Ferengi traditionist amongst the Federation peoples. And then there's Davok. Now, normally I would say if there was one race more boring than the Romulans, it's their Vulcan brethren. But not in this case. Davok has shown excellent aptitude in both medical skills and even tactical violence. Certainly someone you wouldn't want to turn your back on. Wraal had better hurry up and give him a promotion, or who knows what emotional suppression might break. And then there's Varen. Aggressive, violent, suspicious, devious. All perfectly normal traits for humanity, I know. But he also happens to be Terran, you know, from the mirror universe. Well, sort of, anyway. He both is and isn't. It's rather complex, but that's why we're all here, isn't it? To resolve these things? As it is, I've just dropped the Livingstone into said mirror universe so that he can get things sorted once and for all. And now they're all nose to nose with their counterpart ship. It's all so delicious. We need to see what happens now. What door will Varen decide to go through? Can Davok shoot his way out of trouble this time? Can Bosh pick up a tricorder without breaking it? And how will Wraal get everyone home? More than that, how will the crew react when they find out what's really been going on? Because the trial never ends. I'll be watching. Ta-ta for now!
There we are. A huge thank you to James Foxy Lockhart for doing that video for us once again.
Better Q than Q.
Brilliant Q that he is. Brilliant Q. So there we are. We left off. Q snapped his fingers. There's a blinding flash of light. And you are face to face with the ISS Livingstone. What, in God's name, would you like to do?
What do we do now?
Orders, Captain.
Thanks. I was just about to say suggestions, crew. Right, I'll have to check in my manual for things to do in the mirror universe when you're you.
As you pull a pad out from under your chair, Davok, your science station lights up a little bit. It would appear that the Livingstone is being scanned.
We are being scanned, Captain.
Is the scan coming from the other ship, which I take it is us?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is there anything you can do to block their scan?
I can try.
Or or basically bounce it back on them?
Ooh.
Yeah. So see if you
I
can
like that idea.
see if you can reverse the scan, so all they get is a scan of themselves.
Like mirror scan.
Yeah,
mirror.
Reflecting their scan. Oh my goodness. This will require Davok. Oh, let's see. A centaurs. Sorry, no, I'm looking at the ship stats. This is going to require I'm going to say daring, because you've got to do this very, very quickly.
Okay.
But a daring and science roll. I'm going to make this a difficulty 3. Just as a reminder, you have no momentum at present.
Do you have any threat?
Yeah, well,
I do. Now, I mean, good news for yourselves, because I always get at the beginning of each session 2 threat per person, which means I only start the sessions with 6 threat now.
Yeah.
We have half that in momentum.
No, but you can succeed by giving me extra threat.
Am I assisted by the ship with this?
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes, you are assisted by the ship, computers, and... sensors and science. Sensors and science. So
that's
11 from the ship. Let's have the ship's roll first. Who's doing that?
I have a ship dice here.
First roll of the season.
It's a 4.
A 4, so you get 1 success from the ship.
Okay, I need to get under 13. And I got a 12 and a 14.
Oh, so you are 1 success away from a... No, you can, succeed with cost if you wish.
Should we give Stu some threat?
I think it's probably a good idea just to not give them too much of advantage too soon.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, you do so, and I'm going to immediately spend some threat for a thing to happen.
Oh. Right.
You're being hailed.
Very well. On screen.
Okay, the screen flashes up to a sort of familiar view of the Livingstone Bridge, but more darkly lit than what you're accustomed to. And there on the screen are 2 figures who look very familiar. One standing further to the back, more deferential, one could even say sort of beaten down, is Bosh, wearing a black shiny uniform, and also bedecked in rather fetching black leather, if that's your kind of thing. And let's face it, whose isn't it, is the rather attractive form of Liera. She starts as the view screen flashes up. She looks shocked for a moment, and then she regains her composure and says, "Livingstone, this is Sub-Director Liera of the Terran Secret Service. I suspect I know why you have come into our territory."
Livingstone, this is the Federation starship, Livingstone.
As you start to say this, the view screen changes. The view screen changes to a picture of what looks like, well, it's certainly another part of the ship, maybe some sort of brig. You see 3 cylindrical devices, one of which has someone who looks an awful lot like Varen in them. He has red energy flowing across him, and he is screaming out in pain. There is a large scar down the left-hand side of his face, though, that differentiates him from the Varen that you know. And stood operating the controls of this device is a Jem'Hadar, unusually. But even more unusually, this is not a male Jem'Hadar. This is a female Jem'Hadar. The screen flashes back to Liera, and she says, "I expect you've come to help undo this creature," and she gestures to Bosh, who cowers. "This creature's mistake. You have 1 hour to prepare our Varen for transport so that we can correct this issue." And the view screen shuts down.
I immediately press a button on my seat. Reggie, security protocol Wraal Alpha 4, please.
Well, Reggie obviously will know that what that is.
Exactly what's going to happen. At which Reggie appears from one of the doors here, and as I take it, he's still, or he was in the last episode, appears and very politely asks Mr. Varen to accompany him to his quarters.
Yes, the Varen that you're familiar with looks subdued, and yes, goes with Reggie.
Good. That's what I wanted to do, first of all, although I've been planning on that for a little while longer than I've been trying to get Reggie to do something like that. Not that Reggie's some sort of sinister henchman or anything. He's too nice for that. He's too nice for that, is Reggie. Right. I think at this point also I then say all personnel clear the bridge except Mr. Davok and Mr. Bosh, please.
Okay, and Eric and Derek leave the bridge, as do the security personnel, as does the con operator. Grace Wilson leaves the bridge. Yeah, it's just the 3 of you.
A computer, secure bridge doors, my authorization only.
Okay, done.
Good.
So what do you think I did?
I was just about to ask you that, Bosh. What on earth have you done in 2 universes?
I don't know.
What have you flogged that you shouldn't have done?
Don't know. But I did quite like his uniform.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely digging. I'm absolutely digging the leather. In fact, I will be making notes and speaking to Admiral Janeway when we get back with a view to some sort of uniform standards upgrade.
Can I?
He's got gloves as well. Get gloves.
That's completely lost it.
I
Can
knew my
I?
clubbing gear would come in handy.
Is it's a difficult one. I mean, I suppose the question is, because there's such a deviation, is there anything that, now that I know that it's like we presumed alternate universe.
We know we are in the mirror universe. We just heard
Yeah.
it, and Mirror Liera has just said, basically, we are there. We are in their space.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Like, is there any way of working out what the other me might have done?
I don't think so. Not unless you had, not unless you could specifically some sort of intelligence from this universe.
Yeah.
I think out of game, it's always been, you always get your information on the mirror universe from someone who's already in it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so what are we going to do?
They've confirmed that Varen is a Terran, or it's been confirmed that our Varen, this Varen, currently being sat on in his own quarters by Reggie, is a Terran, and they want him back. There is a Varen over there in one of their agony booths. I presume I would know this because at least I'm
well read.
Yes, exactly. I have access to some details on the mirror universe.
You are a captain currently.
Acting
So
we want to be. What?
Yes, it's not unreasonable that you would know. I mean, it wouldn't be common knowledge, I don't think, but that's not unreasonable that you would know.
Yeah.
Do we trade?
Yeah. What do we do? Well, they want Baron back. But what do they want? Do they want anything in return, or is it?
Do we take the other Baron?
Yeah. Is it an exchange? That might be worthwhile. Remember, if these are Terrans, they are bribable, vicious, corrupt, everything a Ferengi should be. Really.
Yes, I mean,
it must be like being a home for you.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense to try and trade. The only thing is, how do we know how damaged a property they're willing to trade? Maybe we can get more for. They particularly want this Baron. We could maybe get more.
Yeah, and why do they want him in return for what Mirror Bosh has done?
I mean, maybe they're going to swap their minds back.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need more information before we make a decision.
Yeah, you think we should just go ahead and ask them? I mean, there's no other way unless we do some sort of data dumping. Can you hack their computer from here and find out?
I imagine that's going to be quite difficult.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, surely we just demand that to make the arrangements for the deal. They'll respond to that.
Or we just offer them something extra as well. We need some information. What else would you like? Extra dilithium, some nice new shiny quantum torpedoes.
Are you planning on firing at them?
No, I might be planning on giving them some for some information.
Well, we don't want to give them. We don't want to give them too much.
Would that be entirely appropriate to give some people in the mirror universe some of our stuff?
They've got better weaponry than us already.
I'm presuming that the mirror universe, our counterpart's ship has basically the same weapons and armaments as we do. So we can.
I say we demand.
Like that would be against Starfleet regulations, though.
Starfleet regulations. We're not even in the same universe as Starfleet.
I say
it still counts.
Doesn't count.
We're on the ship.
I say we demand the terms. She says it's given us an hour, so we've got time. The terms of exchange, and then we can barter for. But if we go in offering a straight swap for Wraal, no.
A straight Baron swap.
Would Baron have been on the screen when we were talking?
You saw him in an agony booth.
We do a straight swap. No, we need a swap plus some stuff from them.
Yeah, well, we at least need information on what.
So we'll give them Baron in exchange. Yeah, we'll give them Baron in exchange for their Baron and information as to where we are exactly, and yeah, like a full set of schematics of their ship. Yeah, do that, because we'll always barter back to just some information. So
even sort of a navigational fix would probably help.
yeah, but so demand their Varen full schematics of their ship and location, and then we can always negotiate back from the full scan of their
We
ship.
want to find out like why we're trading lives. I don't know if I feel comfortable with.
Oh, Davok, everyone's conscience.
Yeah, but we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I thought.
And we're just swapping over seems a bit.
I mean, they said this is to undo what Mirror Bosh has done. So I think at least we need to know what has he done and how can we help you with that aside from just handing over. Is there anything else we can?
Yes,
do?
but
This could be
also
totally not nefarious. This could be just.
we should
thing.
yeah. I mean that's. But we should definitely see what else we could get from them.
Nefarious.
Nefarious. Which one have you decided on? I like the sound of both of them.
Just so you are aware, there is someone on board you could actually ask who might have some insight into all this.
We could just go down and ask Mr. Baron, what the hell is going on?
What have we got, like 50 minutes left?
Well,
so make
what nefarious means.
I think it's reasonable to say you've probably been discussing this for half an hour.
Easily.
But so we'll go back. We'll make the demand for. We'll swap Barons. We want a full information on their ship and
Ditch home.
like
I think
where we are.
Better than this, I think we need to know, at least from the information we've got here, what's going on. Combine Reggie and say, Reggie, bring Mr. Varon to the bridge alone, please.
Okay. And yeah, Reggie will do so. And Varon appears on the bridge shortly and looks subdued.
Mr. Varon, what exactly is going on and who exactly are you? Because you're not from round here, are they, to use the colloquial Klingon?
Varon thinks for a moment, takes a deep breath, and I'm not going to attempt to do an Usher accent. So I'll paraphrase. Varon tells you carefully and slowly as much as he knows, which is that he is indeed from the Terran universe. He was serving aboard the Titan with Dr. Bosh, who was conducting some experimentation into giving Terrans psychic abilities, transplanting them from other psychic species like Vulcans, like any of the psychic species, to get betazoids and what have you. And indeed, Varon was experimented on. It was an agonizing experiment. He blacked out. When he woke up, he was still on board the Titan, in his quarters that weren't his quarters. His scars, which he has numerous of, had all disappeared. The Captain Riker that he was used to serving under was a different Captain Riker. It took him a little while to figure out where exactly he was.
How long did it take him? Was it 5, 6, 7, 8?
5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, warping the factor of. Very good. Yeah, and certainly he's been looking for a way back to his wife and children.
Mr. Varon, it seems that we're back in the mirror universe, so your wish to get back home appears to have been fulfilled, though I don't think it's anything you've done that got us here.
I should have worked it out. This is exactly what Section 31 were doing.
Are they doing it in both universes?
Yeah, they were when I was abducted, and I said when I told you about coming round, they were talking about like telepathy and bits and pieces like that, but it just didn't twig.
So we've seen. Actually, I'll ask this directly to Varen. Say, Varen, are you, as far as you're aware? I can't remember what I was going to say there. I was going to ask if you're in this unit. Do you consider that experiment somehow switched you into this universe from your universe, which we consider the mirror universe?
He sort of shakes his head and shrugs a bit and tells you he's no scientist, but that's the only thing that would make any sense.
Yeah.
Davok, could it be that this has been there's a swap? Because we've seen that there is a Varen in this universe.
It does seem logical, doesn't it?
That's why I was checking.
Davok,
I mean, I agree.
I can tell you, you know of no science that's ever explored anything like this. So, from a technical, scientific point of view, it's impossible to speculate.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it's the old Sherlock Holmes. Vulcans love that Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
Right. Good. Okay. I'll say to Varen, we have, as you know, our counterparts on the Livingstone, nose to nose with us, who are demanding your return. Is that something that you would want? Because we seem to have got you home. Are they your free ride back to your family or not?
He looks very thoughtful at this and very confused, and you can almost see a kind of a mental crisis almost going on where he can't really reach much of a decision, but eventually he says that the Federation have shown him an incredibly different way to live, and while he didn't think so at first when he arrived here, he now thinks it's maybe a better way to live. However, he can't think of any other way to get back to his wife and children.
There are two options here. We return, I'll actually address this to the crew and to Varen. We return Varen in the hope that he finds his way back to his wife and children, because I honestly believe that he is here by accident and he served with us, if not with distinction, then certainly with eagerness and a fine collection of knives. Incidentally, has he still got those with him? I know that it's a fashionable thing in the mirror universe.
He does.
He can take that, anything that he can take.
You didn't get ready to disarm him.
No, those would be in his quarters, but he'd be on a security screen. Not the Bosh one. So our options are to return him with the hope that he can get back. The only other option is for his family to eventually find a way to him, should Varen wish to claim asylum with us as representatives of the United Federation of Planets.
Make it part of the deal.
They
So
have
he gets to go home.
And there's no. Is there any way we can actively guarantee that? I mean, I take it we're handing that over. Do we get our Varen back, and he gets sent back to his family or reunited, or do they all end up in the agony booth with him?
I said we should definitely get our Varen back. No offense.
No, Yeah, the one we've never actually met, strangely enough.
Well, we met him at the academy.
Oh, that's probably true. Yeah. So Derek and Eric recognise him at least. He probably hates them as well.
We should invite Liera over for a meal.
I like that. I like that thinking, Bosh. Are you cooking?
I can do. It's a very, very important. Some might say a rule of acquisition 214: never begin a business negotiation on an empty stomach.
Excellent. Love how we effortlessly got a rule of acquisition in there without even trying. Okay, yeah, I think this. I think this needs. Yeah, this needs a little bit more negotiation, and I think extending the hand of necessarily the hand of diplomacy might work, or at least the hand of a decent deal that they might do well out of, especially if we can convince Liera that she might personally profit from it.
And Bosh, I'm sure you'll be good at that.
Yes, we'll be relying. Yeah, as the sneaky Ferengi on board, we'll definitely be relying on you.
Sorry, sneaky Ferengi.
I said those two words don't really mix.
I'll have it. Like, there'll be I'll have to speak to the Grand Nagus about this. Like defamation.
You got caught selling stuff you shouldn't have on Last Starbase. Just
to remind you, that's Grand Nagus rum.
Yeah, I know.
Probably won't give a shit.
The first friend
one can hope.
Starfleet.
No, that was his son, Nog.
Oh, yes. Oh, related.
So, the one that married Leela. No?
Lita.
But anyway. Let us contact her.
So we
Hasn't enough.
So I think the only other option here is if Varen agrees to get sent over, I'll say to him, we're being asked to send you over to that ship. Obviously, once we transport you over, in return for what I presume will be the Prime Universe version of yourself, we cannot guarantee your safety anything other than any deal we make with your Mirror Universe colleagues over there. How do you feel about that?
Varen smiles wryly and says that you've clearly had no dealings with Terrans before, because refusing their offer would be the most dangerous thing you could do.
Kind of got that feeling.
Bosh is fiddling around with the replicator. Sort of will mutter something about different food, and then is going to turn around and punch Varen in the stomach.
Okay, give me a now it's daring and security, isn't it? Unarmed. This is an opposed roll. Oh God!
You do an opposed roll. See who gets the most successes as to whether or not he dodges it.
I would have thought that he's got his hands tied behind his back and Reggie's holding him, and he's nice and easy there for me to.
Oh, in that case, yeah,
no, it's just been escorted to the bridge as requested.
I mean, he still had his knives on him.
Well, Reggie, I said those were in his cabin, probably on the wall with a display cabinet.
Oh, Varen, he'd never remove his knives.
How many successes did you get?
15 destructive pistols.
I got 2.
And what did you get on the dice?
2 9s.
2 9s. Yeah, you managed to. You managed to land a smack across his jaw.
No, stomach.
Oh, stomach. Right, punch him in the stomach. He's going to take a swipe back at you. So this is.
I'm just going to let him just for a second.
So let's have your. That's 2 successes.
2 more successes, a 5 and a 13.
Okay, 5 and a 13. Yeah, he cracks you one across your jaw.
Okay.
And in fact, with his talent of mean right hook, we never had your damage roll for him, did we? Let's have that. What you did to him.
The security score plus 1 number of effect dice.
2 blanks, 2 stray hits.
Okay, and so two points of stress. Let me just mark that off. I mean, you realise you're doing this against a security, guard.
Yeah. There's another. I mean,
There's explain yourself.
there's
Trying to do it for an entire series, so
There's a D&D thing, but I don't know what it is in this, so we'll just keep this as a point that you remember.
bookmark.
Yep, sure.
Okay.
And as he smacks you back, you take 8 points of stress and are knocked on your arse.
Roll to the floor, prone.
It's a
you
good
take
thing
an
you're a
injury.
doctor.
Yes, physician, heal thyself. You take an injury because it's more than 6.
Yeah.
I bark quickly, having actually let Baron take the swing back. Reggie, secure the prisoner.
Yeah. And Baron does not resist.
I go and grab Bosh and sort of shake him awake.
And you-
And just blood, like broken nose, blood is just streaming.
For those who were watching it, it seemed almost like an instinctive response from Baron rather than a revenge thing.
It all happened a lot faster than the dice seemed to indicate.
Yes.
Yes, it did.
Slow motion. Right, where were we? I was talking about you two punching lumps out of each other. Right, we are going to hail Arthur Livingstone, and I'm afraid Mr. Varron may well end up as a bargaining chip in our plan or our need to get home to where we're supposed to be, because it seems that we've already got Varron home to where he needs to be. Let's just see if we can help him get there in at least one piece, or not transported there in an agony booth the whole way.
That seems fair.
Okay, so you open a hail. It is answered by Liera, who says, "Well, Wraal, I take it from Varron being restrained that you're ready for the transfer?"
Captain, we are. However, this isn't a...
Sub-director.
I beg your pardon, sub-director. Only a sub-director. I know who's in charge of that. This is an unusual situation, and not every day you meet someone from the opposite universe. I'm hoping that this could be a profitable voyage for yourself, as well as for me. If you're proposing a trade, and indeed we do have someone restrained here ready to trade for you, we'd like to invite you over to discuss anything further we can trade to our mutual benefit.
Liera leans forward, cocks her head on one side, and says, "Let me be perfectly candid here, Federation. We are not looking to make friends. I will not set one foot on that contaminated vessel of yours. However, no, if you wish to trade, here is a counter-proposal for you. I will trade you a series of quantum torpedoes and an expulsion from the plasma cannon, and I will pull Varen's cold, dead corpse from space. I'm assured that the procedure will work whether he's dead or alive, so... The choice is yours. You have 15 minutes remaining. And the view screen shuts off.
Oh, she's much nastier in this universe than she is in ours. I like her. She's almost as bad as Janeway in our real one. She's a right cow.
Hey, Tuvix lived in the mirror universe.
Yeah. Who'd have
Or Nevok, as he was called.
Davok.
Mm.
Who'd have thought Mirror Janeway actually, some sort of nursery school teacher?
Rule of acquisition 203: new customers are like razor-toothed greenworms. They can be succulent, but sometimes they bite back.
But they certainly do. Right, hand him over. We get blasted out of the stars, or at least we have to, or we have to go toe to toe with a ship which is basically the same as us.
Would you like to take the opportunity to verify that?
Mm.
Because there's something you've not actually done.
Yes, we should scan their ship now.
Mr. Davok, scan that Livingstone for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I need my sheet first. Oh, what a scan is. Sorry, I should have been more prepared than this.
Look, there's a ship that side and me that side.
Okay, so here's scanning. Let's call this... It's not technically a scan for weakness. Do you want to do a sensor sweep across it, or do you want to scan for weakness? Up to you. Sensor sweep's normally across space, but I'll allow it for
like this.
Sweeping across the ship.
I mean, I think we just need to see what's there.
Yeah, I think a sensor sweep
Really?
across it. We want to see their stats because...
We don't want to appear aggressive. with
Yeah,
it,
and also we might be faster. They might be more heavily armoured. We might be more heavily armed.
Yeah, to do a generalised scan.
Okay, so I need a... this is going to be a difficulty 0, so here's a chance to get some momentum. I need a reason and science assisted by the ship's sensors and science.
Well, and science. I'll do the ship again. Sensors and science. That's 11. I've got a 5.
Actually,
I'm going to use some threat to make this a difficulty. Difficulty 1.
Okay. All right, I have to get 14. And I got a 2 and a 15.
Oh, now is that does that? Did you have anything that can bolster that 2 into 2 successes because it's under your science skill?
If I'm scanning for warp core stuff or computers, maybe?
No,
Okay, then no.
I'm afraid. So you do get your success at least.
We got
But no,
one.
you get 2 successes.
We
Because
got
the
2
ship.
successes, so we get one.
One
Yeah,
momentum.
you get
Momentum.
one momentum. One
Yay.
momentum, yes. There you go. You have your momentum. It looks very small next to my pile of threat.
Oh,
Okay, so here's what you find. Do you want the long version or the short version?
actually, I leave my chair and I come and lean over Davok's over Davok's shoulder to look more closely.
Okay. It has, very similar to the Livingstone, it has ablative armour. However, the ablative armour has secondary redundancies. So basically it's like twice the armour. It has 3 times the quantity of quantum torpedo banks that the Livingstone has. It has 5 more phaser arrays. Instead of phaser cannons, it has plasma cannons, which you're not really familiar with. But the scans showing very high energy outputs. They are all armed, by the way, and pointed at you.
Just a massive cannon with a small rocket
I
motor
think
behind it.
we just make this deal.
Yeah, if you were to make an assessment, you wouldn't last 2 seconds.
And I don't think we'll be able to go away quick enough. I mean, where would we go? We don't know where we are.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
I think if we're lucky, we might get a fix on where we are to get out of here.
Yeah, and as Farron is seeming to be okay with it, I think that's the way we proceed.
Clock's ticking. You've got 5 minutes remaining.
Right, we'll hand him over. Hopefully, we'll see if we can get some information as to what this Bosh has done over there and get the prime Varren back. We can maybe
as part of that sweep, did we see if they had any? Could we pick up the boots, the agony boots, on the ship?
No, you couldn't. Not through their armor. You couldn't really get internal scans. That would have been much more sort of specific and invasive. This was like a general scan of the outside.
No, this is more a sweep to see what it is you're actually looking at here. And it's a cruiser, it's a heavy cruiser, it's a heavily armed escort in this case.
She's a predator.
Yeah, I'll say she is. Just like her captain. Right. Yes. The plan is we hand over the Varren we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Agree to their terms, and if we decide we're going to go and help him out afterwards, we're in a better position if we're still in one piece here. Maybe with our own Varren back, who might have learnt something from that particular unit.
Probably a lot of pain.
Yeah, it probably hurts a lot. Everything hurts.
Yeah, let's stop it now. Let's do this.
Cool. Right. I just go back to my seat and engage hailing frequencies back to the Livingstone in question. The other Livingstone.
Okay, and the screen comes up, and Sub-Director Liera is there, leaning on her hand, clearly bored and impatient. And what now, Wraal?
Sub-Director, please transmit coordinates for us to teleport and transport your Varren back to you. Do I take it we'd like an exchange transport with the Varren from our universe that you have in your agony booth at the moment?
You fail to understand the situation. I will be sending my chief of security to collect your Varren so that the procedure may take place. Once the procedure is complete, you can take your Varren back with you.
Ah, very brave of you to send your chief over to our infected vessel.
Oh,
very
she
well.
Smiles very wryly at that.
Very well. Send coordinates and we'll prepare to beam him directly to... Would you prefer him beam directly to our sick bay to complete the procedure? I'm sure our Bosh can help you.
Liera looks down, taps something into a keypad next to her, and then you get a shimmering light on the bridge of the Livingstone, and transporting aboard is the same female Jem'Hadar you saw on the view screen earlier.
Oh, nice. I was expecting it to be Reggie with a goatee. Slightly disappointed it isn't, actually. I'd like to have seen Mirror Reggie. At this, I take it Reggie is looking concerned or just standing Reggie?
You tell me.
Reggie.
Because this Jem'Hadar's walking over and taking Varren's other arm and glaring at Reggie.
Reggie, release the prisoner to the security officer's care.
And Reggie releases. Varren takes a step back. There is another shimmering light as the two of them beam off the bridge. And that's a good place for us to take a break.
Oh, it definitely is.
There we go. We will be back in 5 minutes. Hello, Ben. Great to see you. Yep, we will be back in 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. That's an order.
Get some tea.
Yes, and oh goodness, what's happened to my screen here? We are back, honestly, but
It's just you.
I don't know. It's all gone horribly, horribly wrong. What's happened here?
Whoop.
I don't
Running
know.
numbers.
I'm assuming.
And things are frozen.
Yeah.
Adjusting this as we go. We will get there in a second, everybody. Bear with us.
Classic Star Trek adventures.
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it, though? But yes, hopefully everyone had a nice break and has topped up their drinks and what have you. And, oh, the images have frozen.
Oh.
Well, isn't that just a thing? Okay.
We break and refresh.
Do that.
Yeah.
This is
There
moving
we
again.
go. We're back.
we're moving.
Oh, it's gone again. It'll be right, I'm sure. It just needs to settle in, I'm certain. Yes, so how are we feeling after that?
Yes.
A bit concerned.
A bit?
Yes.
I
will.
What
To
are
be
you
fair,
concerned about?
don't
very
think that was a
tempting,
good
isn't
thing
it?
to do, personally. But I don't know what else we could have done.
I thought Wraal had wound the Buffett up that we were about to get a torpedo in the face.
Yeah, I know that Star Trek is often about moral dilemmas. But then again, yeah, there's been ones where someone has had to hand someone over to save many, and there's others where, like when Data was told to hand over his daughter, and Picard basically said, "No, don't do it, and I'll support you not to." Yeah,
That was such a good episode, that one.
That's the Data,
My
not the law.
favourite.
So yeah, there's do you know what? It's awful being confronted with that and actually having to make a choice. That's what's great about the game. You sort of go, oh, I'm going to watch some of those episodes and have a whole new appreciation of the writing, the acting, and the characters.
Well, Varen, I mean, in this case, though, Varen did say he was prepared to go back. So it wasn't even that much of a dilemma.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like the right thing to do. Who knows what they're going to do with him?
It still feels, even if you say, I'll go back, it still feels bad. I mean, I felt less bad ordering Davok into a warp core to, save an entire ship. That was fine.
Well, we've been through so many doors with Baron.
Eventually.
Yeah. Okay, well, if we're all refreshed and bio braked up, let's bring ourselves back in. And indeed, this female Jem'Hadar and Varen have transported off the bridge. The three of you, I would like you all to give me presence and insight and security rolls, please.
I had one pass.
One pass from Bosh.
One me.
Oh, I've got a
One
focus
for
in
Rob.
negotiation, by the way, guys. I should mention that.
Negotiation does not apply, unfortunately.
No, but I keep forgetting. Does skip rope
Okay.
apply?
We will make it.
Oh, I got a 3 and a 2.
A 3 and a 2, brilliant. Davok, you notice in the area that that this Jem'Hadar took Varen, there is a small, looks like a small device on the floor.
Oh. I'm going to scan that without touching it to find out what that is.
You pull out your tricorder, you scan it. It appears to be a pad of some description.
Ooh. It's Evil Liera's diary.
Oh. Grab that then.
It's a small one. It's about the size of an iPhone 5.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. Okay, you pick it up and there
I
is
found?
something written on the screen.
It says Wraal
says
sucks. I'll be very
Is it backwards?
no. It's a ho. It says request asylum.
Oh. Who dropped that?
But is the pad's not from our universe? Is it not something that we recognise as our kit? Is it?
It's not a device that you're familiar with, no. To determine if it's from this universe, you would have to scan its quantum signature.
I could do that.
Which you can do if you want to. Right. Yes, it is definitely not of your universe, it is of this universe.
So, well, it's either she wrote that and dropped it, but why would she do that? Or Baron grabbed it and wrote that and dropped it.
Baron, sure, he didn't have time. He had one arm was held by Reggie, the other arm was held by the Cmdr.
Well, the other arm was punching you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's your nose?
Just it was flat before, it's even flatter now.
And if he punched you right in the lobes, that's like a kick in the fork, really, isn't it, for a Ferengi?
Yeah, that's
Across the jaw, face.
He was aiming for your lobes.
Do you want
Do you
me
think
to
it-
patch you up a little bit?
I'll sort it out afterwards. When we're not in dire.
Facing a
Being
heavily armed
hailed.
version of ourselves. We're being hailed. Oh.
You're being hailed.
On screen.
Screen lights up, and it's Liara again. And she says, "You surprise me, Federation. I would have thought you'd have at least wanted to send one of your people over, but that's fine. Would you like to watch the procedure?"
I would be interested. Sorry, Captain.
No, that's quite all right, Doctor. Our medical officer might be quite interested to see this procedure. Is there anything you can tell us more about this procedure? Is it advantageous to humans, or Terrans, should I say?
"Oh, I'll let it speak for itself," she says with a big, that wide, big
The
smile,
the Joker smile.
super smile,
This is good.
as she laughs, well, kind of almost into a cackle, as the view screen switches to it. Well, it doesn't look dissimilar to your sick bay, Bosh. It's an overhead view. There are two tables, each with a Varan strapped to them. On the left-hand side is the Varan with the scar running down his face. On the right is the Varan that you've come to know and tolerate. They're both really strapped down with heavy metal straps. They are both awake. The one on the left, the one with the scar, looks almost delirious. And yeah, Bosh appears in frame. You recognise those lobes from above. And he gets a large metal instrument. By the way, how do we feel about veils and curtains and things like that?
Medical procedures wise,
I feel
slightly away.
content warning coming up, but I can draw a veil if you prefer.
Oh, I've no bother.
Yeah,
I also have no issue.
I've got children. Not much scares me anymore.
Okay. Well, for audience members, if you are of a squeamish nature, you may wish to skip forward through this bit or mute it or whatever, because large, long metal instruments are being bored into the skulls of the two Varans. Deep. I mean, Bosh, you can tell this is deep into their brains. These wires appear to be connected to transmitters of various descriptions as one after another of these things. I mean, the blood is just flowing out. And is that a bit of cerebral fluid as well coming out there, Bosh? Would you recognise? Of course you would.
Yeah.
Leaking out there. I mean, that Bosh isn't bothering to mop it up or anything like that. The two Varans are screaming in pain. I mean, screaming. They clearly are not bothering with any form of anaesthetic as this is going on.
Sedative.
What? You down?
No sedatives, no nothing. Then the Mirror Universe Bosh gets a large device. If you imagine, you know, the big metal flexible cables. It's like one of those with a great big long spike on the end that he jams up into the base of the skull.
Matrix-esque.
On each, yeah, very much so, but without an actual port there that you're aware of. More screaming. Oh, and by the way, Liera's left the sound on for you.
Of course.
It's up to you if you want to mute it. However, you can mute it your end.
But I think I imagine Davok's just taking notes and looking with a raised eyebrow.
The Mirror Bosh seems to be taking a great deal of pleasure in his work as he's doing this.
Sure he would.
And finally, with these two large spikes implanted at the base of the skulls of the Varans, he goes over to a computer console. The two Varans seem to calm somewhat, then screech in unison as their bodies are just racked, and you can see their entire bodies are straining against these metal straps. Looks like every muscle in their body looks like it's about to burst. I mean, you've seen some pretty intense things, Bosh. You're wondering how these two humans are still alive at this point. Surely their hearts would have given out by now under this. Their bodies would have shut down under this intense pain. But they haven't, for some reason. This carries on for about 5 minutes. When the Bosh, the Mirror Bosh, walks away from the computer console, back to the Varans, and starts yanking these metal probes and spikes out. At which point you see the two Varans do seem to collapse. Until the Mirror Universe Bosh revives them and then carries on pulling out the spikes.
Swine.
The screaming. I mean, this screaming will haunt you all for the rest of your lives. You feel sure of this. And as the last spike is pulled out, the view screen cuts back to the bridge, to Liera, who says, well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Prepare to receive your Varan back in 5 minutes, courtesy of my security chief, upon which I expect you to leave this universe by the same way you arrived, immediately, or be destroyed. And the view screen shuts off. 5 minutes.
Great. How do we call Q from here?
I don't know, but do we want to get the other Varan back?
What do you mean?
Do we want both Varans?
Bring both Varans? That's going to have to be a very, very quick transport.
Well, an emergency medical transport, locking onto the comm badge that I punched in with.
Okay, space is enormous, so we've got everywhere in the galaxy, in this universe, to run as well. So I am just going to, if I can, whilst you're just thinking about that, plot basically an evasion course and an escape course via my console here.
Okay. Give me a daring and con.
Mm-hmm.
Assisted by the ship, structure and con. Difficulty
Okay.
2.
Okay, daring and con. Look at that. A 4, which equals my con skill of 4, and helm operations. Does that count as a focus?
Yes, it does.
There's a 2 there, and a 13, which daring and con. That's 1, 2, 3 successes.
3 successes.
Can someone roll for the ship?
Matt?
A 5 and a 6.
We only want 1, so yeah, either one of those is another success. Yeah, you have yourselves another 2 momentum. You are up to 3 momentum. You have an evasion course out of there laid in already.
I'd like to prep an emergency medical transport.
Yes, if you need to speak to our chief engineer about that, Mr. Bosh, you coordinate that with engineering.
Well, it's like a medical override. So, yeah.
What we're planning to do is basically when they beam over with the security chief from their universe, who we think has left a note wanting asylum, we also, as that beam is activated, because shields will be down both sides, beam off the other Varan as well. Everyone into sickbay, screens around it, do one.
Yes.
Okay.
I like the plan.
Flawless plan.
You have 2 minutes remaining.
Anything else we need? I will just contact.
Is there a way that I would be able to disable their weapons sneakily?
If you knew their what's it called? The code for the
transponder. The transponder code? No, not transponder code.
Is it likely to be the reverse of ours?
There's a good chance it could just be exactly. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like the code for the Livingstone.
There is literally only one way you can find out. However, just to make you aware, if the systems on their Livingstone are the same as the systems on yours, a failed attempt will alert them.
Yeah.
I say we beam. Well, as they're beaming over, we take it, shields up, Scarper.
Exactly my plan. I'll just communicate that to the chief engineer as well. Ms. Gomez, we will be needing all power to the engines at a moment's notice.
Possibly fire a salvo as well.
1 minute remaining.
Very well. Everyone ready for this? Bosh, are you ready to receive?
Yeah.
Very good. Mr. Davok, I'd just like you to, as we leave, if you could fire a spread of torpedoes to the rear that detonates. Basically, I want a smoke screen as we go. I'll let you know the coordinates of our trajectory, comparable with their Livingstone, so you know where to shoot them. Basically, if you hit them, good. If you just go flash bang in front of them, equally good.
Okay.
Basically, blind their sensors so that they don't see exactly where it is we've gone. Because my course away from here is not a straight line.
Okay.
Okay, so time is up. So what order do you want to do things? Just as the transporter starts to shimmer on the bridge.
That's the point at which we activate the emergency transport, the emergency medical transport, simultaneously as they're beaming the security and out and our prime Varan to us.
Yeah.
So simultaneous medical beaming. Then what do you want to happen after?
We are going to, again, as I activate, shields up. I will engage the course that we've already laid in and set, maximum warp, and Mr. Davok will fire a spread of torpedoes to cover our escape.
Right. The beam, the transporter beam has started. Bosh, you quickly run your fingers over the controls and it fails. There appears to be some shielding around where the other Varan is.
Damn it.
Are we going to have
The
to take...
transporter completes. The
Just-
female Jem'Hadar and your Varan is there, stood on the bridge.
Captain, we just need to go.
Very good. Engage. I press the engage button.
One of them is on the ship.
Okay, so somebody needs to for the shields. Let's see how quickly you can get the shields up. Somebody give me a control and security roll. Assisted by the ship, structure and engineering.
Oh, I've got control and security of 13 total.
12.
Well,
Okay, I'll get the shields up while I do it. I'll just do everything. God, I've got a 9 and a 2.
nice.
Okay, and assisted by the ship with structure and engineering.
I'll chuck another one in. 15, no help from the ship.
No help from the ship there, but with 2 successes, the shields do go up, and the next one is to execute the warp, isn't it?
Yes.
So, who is going to go to warp? Because bear in mind, Wraal, you have just been operating the shields.
I have a focus in warp core thingies.
Well, it's laid
Warp
in.
core thing is, let's be a bit more specific.
No, it says warp core thingies. I don't know if you can tell, but it literally says that.
Thingies.
Warp
No,
core
it
thingies.
literally, yeah, it literally says that. I will post a picture in the Discord right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I've got a copy somewhere.
Well, literally, on my console, it's literally pulsing with the course laid in. Do you want to go to warp button? You just tap it.
Okay. So Davok, give me a control and con roll, assisted by the ship engines and con.
Okay. 12. I got a 6 and a 4.
6 and 4. Does the 4 trigger your focus?
No, because it's 2.
Okay. 6 and a 4, and assisted by the ship. Engines and con.
Engines and con, it's 13. The ship says 12. That's a success.
Okay, you are now at maximum momentum as you warp the hell out of there with your shields up. What does the female Jem'Hadar say to the captain, please?
Thank you.
Do you have anything to request from us now that we've just stolen you from your own ship?
I presume you saw my request for asylum
Yes.
and acted on it.
Your request for asylum, as you can see, is granted.
And I said, thank you. What more conversation is needed?
Oh, one of those, Jem'Hadar. Would you like to take a seat? We have a new vacancy for a security officer.
I am first.
Great.
Just sits.
As first walks away from Varan, Varan collapses to the floor in a bloody, messy, cerebral fluidy heap.
Mr. Bosh, I take it you're not going to let him just bleed to death on my carpet.
No. And yeah, so medical Trauma surgery. I have a thing.
Hey!
Yes, yes.
Finally.
I have emergency medicine and trauma surgery and triage.
Do you get like triple if you have a bunch of focuses at work?
No.
If only he was
you
an
can only use
Andorian.
one at a time.
God.
Triage again is the one focus that you can't apply here.
But emergency medicine and trauma surgery
come in
So
very useful. You don't need to roll for this because I mean you've seen what's been done to him. You know exactly what treatments he
plug the holes.
needs. Basically, he needs a lot of sort of regeneration going on. But you managed to stabilize him. He's stabilized enough to get him to sick bay, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, so we'll do a can we do site to site?
You
Just
can do a
beam him directly to sick bay.
transport.
Yeah, that's quicker. You just
problem at all.
go straight there.
No problem at all.
And then trauma surgery. I'll do that one next.
Okay, and you do. And it's going to take some time for Bosh to work on Varen.
Oh, does Bosh, do you get like, sort of the cool red scrubs with the little sort
Yes.
of everything?
Yeah. Yes, indeed. It took me ages to work out why they're red as well. Most doctors in the Federation are Vulcans, and what colour blood is Vulcan
Blue.
blood?
Green blood.
Green.
Green blood.
Oh, yes.
And green's more likely to show
You
on
should
the...
know that, Bosh.
There you go. So, yeah, you are flying at warp, weaving at warp.
They can follow this. They're like a
In
sniffer dog.
the Terran universe. I'm going to roll a thing for them. I'm going to see if they are able to detect your course. So, this is going to be a reason and con with sensors and cons. So, reason and con.
Can we spend
That is
momentum to
good.
make this harder for you?
I don't
I'm
think it
going to
works.
say yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How many momentum would
yes.
you like to spend?
All of it.
Yeah, should we make it however much we need to make it difficult
All
for
but
you?
one, maybe.
3 will make it impossible.
Oh, let's burn.
How much do we have?
We've got 6. Let's burn half
3.
of it, and with my particularly good plotting, we've got away scot-free.
Yes.
I won't
Where,
even
though?
bother rolling then.
To where?
Yeah. Yeah.
Get away first, then we'll figure out
That's the
where.
next question. Well,
Well, we've got someone who can help us with where now.
I don't know how to get back to your universe, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, well, yeah, we didn't actually know. Well, we know how we got here, but we have no idea the actual. I mean, unless anyone wants to do this, it doesn't work for me.
Do you know where we could
that
go?
doesn't mean anything to first, by the way.
Yeah, it's just,
I mean, if you're
never seen it.
talking about explosions, I mean, I do have the command codes, but I'm sure semi-directorate, secondary, whatever,
Sub-director.
sub-director. I'm sure sub-director would have changed the codes the moment you went to warp.
yeah, they should have switched that around, knowing that we've got you. You asked for asylum. What is it you don't like? Why would you? First of all, why would you pick us? Have you been planning this for a while? And what is it about the Terran Empire you don't like that has caused you to leave under such extreme circumstances?
If you were forced to participate in a ship that you have no interest in, would you stay there?
Were they paying you?
Of course not.
Then no.
Yes, just Terrans, Klingons, all terrible.
So you would like to return with us. Our objective, my objective as captain acting of this ship, is to get us and this crew, as much as I can of it, back to our universe.
Fine.
It
Are
may-
you insisting that I am a prisoner?
No, far from it. As you've requested asylum, you'll be given all rights and duties, should you wish them, on board. You may travel back as a passenger, in which case you will have no other responsibilities other than, of course, to keep to your assigned quarters, though you're free to use any of the facilities of the ship as necessary. Or if you wish, you may take up any useful occupation on board this ship as you see fit, which of course will do wonders for your acceptance should we ever return to our universe.
Then
It
it
may
is done.
be of interest to you that in our universe, where we come from, the Jem'Hadar are not much liked by our people. However, the fact that you've asked for asylum means that I'm obliged to accept it, or at least consider it.
Then it is done.
And then it is done. Would you like to take a position on the bridge of this ship, or would you prefer to travel as a passenger?
I am first.
I'll find some work for you. I can't promise you any white.
What is what? Oh, are your Jem'Hadar still on white?
Last we heard, yes. If you have no need for white, then we have a great deal of interesting need for you.
We haven't had white for centuries.
I think you're going to get on fine in our universe first. Mr. Davok, scan behind us. Just make sure that we haven't been followed.
Sure thing.
It's okay. No need to roll. Nothing on sensors.
I think we've made good our escape.
Is there any work out where we are?
I think at this point I'll call the bridge crew, who we binned off in the first few minutes, back on board, so we don't have to press all the buttons ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, you call them back, and they each take their seats.
Splendid. I'll ask Con, perform an astrometric sweep and star chart alignment. See if you can pick up any beacons that give location, time, and date. I'm assuming that as Federation space has those beacons, Imperial space probably will as well.
Okay. There are indeed not so much beacons, but they can work out location from astronomical information. And by measuring the distances between astronomical information gives you time. The time matches the time that you would have expected anyway. So you haven't moved in time, just in universe. And in terms of location, you are somewhere in the Prime universe. You'll be somewhere around the Romulan-Klingon border.
Okay.
In the Prime universe.
Yeah,
we should definitely. We should head deeper into Klingon space, I would have thought.
I need to remember whether. Hang on.
Well, actually, I'm not there. I'm in the. I'm patching up Baron.
Patching up bits of him.
I have no knowledge I can add to this.
Yeah. Now this is background. How much Memory Alpha have you read through?
Actually, Davok, there is something you can contribute because you have access to the ship's library, and you do know that there have been crossovers in the past.
Oh yes, let me research with the computers as to getting home, how that happens. You know, that sort of
It'll
thing.
take a little time to compile the information. What would you like to do in the meantime?
Or just wherever might be a relatively safe harbour for, what are we now? A renegade ship in a hostile universe. We could probably do with something equating to a friendly port. So we need to figure out who is the enemy of our enemy, because they're going to be our friends.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to take a little while to compile that. More time now to compile that information as well.
Oh, great!
So what would you like to do in the meantime?
We're not getting much out of our Jem'Hadar friend, but we might actually say, first,
Yes.
we are strangers to your universe. Does the Dominion exist in this universe?
The what?
Okay. Do you have a home planet?
Of course.
Could you give us some form of indication of where it is?
I mean, if we were anywhere near it, I probably could, but I have no idea where I am in comparison.
Right. But there is a Jem'Hadar home planet in this universe.
Yes, of course. Is there not in your universe?
There are many places where they come from. Most of them are test tubes.
Again, that hasn't been the case for centuries.
Unfortunate. Based on your joining our crew, or at least being on board our ship, are people of your race likely to be hostile or friendly should they come across you? Just so as I know, I don't want you. I don't want the view screen popping up and having you front and center on it, if that's going to cause a problem for you and for us.
If you come across another one of us, I would be very, very interested.
You're quite a rare species over here.
Seemingly. Wherever here is. It seems that this is somewhere in the alpha quadrant.
Yes. Remembering his star maps. Yes.
Yes.
On the border. Oh, yeah. Oh, hang on.
Alpha, beta-ish.
Yes. Good. Okay. Are your people forced to work for the Terran Empire or to join the Terran Empire, or do you willingly volunteer to be on board their ships and part of their crews?
You say plural. I was forced. I was forced onto some station, Tyrek Noir or something, I don't know. It was some mines, ore processing. I was forced onto there, and then the Terrans attacked, and I was forced onto their ship.
I see. This, of course, explains why you would prefer perhaps to be with us. As I explained before, you have no obligation to work as part of our crew. If you wish to, we're happy to have you on board.
I will pay my way.
Very good. We will happily accept your assistance and your knowledge of where we are, such as it can be. Would you be able to assist Mr. Davok in that respect, in terms of getting some information on where it is we are? We know where we are physically. It seems to match our own universe. But shall we say we could probably do with some colour filling in?
How much do I know about current Klingon borders and stuff like that?
Just if the Klingons are likely to be friendly.
Yeah, you would know very, very little. Basically, you were used simply as a weapon, activated and deactivated at will. You weren't given information. You weren't given access to information. You led parties, but you were only given enough information for that specific mission.
This is the thing to kill, go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the muscle, actually, with, yeah, pointed at a target. Okay, I'm out of ideas just for the moment. Let me make some notes.
Okay, while that's been happening, Davok, you have some information about safe harbours in
Got some
the Mirror
information.
Universe. None.
There
Basically,
aren't any.
factions change It's so fluidic because of the aggressive nature of so many of the races in the mirror universe. It's impossible to determine if there would be a safe harbour. Even if you knew of one in the past, there's no guarantee it would be now. And it would be a massive risk.
How do we get home?
You're starting to get information through on that. One of the original crossings was from the original Starship Defiant, that crossed through from interphasic space due to massive bombardment by the Tholians. However, that crossing sent every single crew member utterly insane to the point that they ripped each other apart. It took
Probably not
weeks
the
to
option
get
to
the
do.
decks clean.
Probably not the best option. I don't really fancy their particular mesh spacesuits either.
Yeah, I never understood why they use carpet in Starship. It just seems quite difficult to clean.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of like stuff happening all the time. Wouldn't it be more logical to have hard floors?
Yeah, something you can swab rather than something you need to vax continually.
Yeah.
You do have Sonic Dysons, so you know,
So, yeah, we'll
I
point
mean,
out
it
that
is the future.
other suction-based cleaning devices are available.
they are. Yes. Oh, another bit. Oh, hang on. No. Something did flash on the screen there, but then it disappeared again under a security lockout.
Oh. Ooh.
Is there anything you need me to unlock? Can I?
It might be if it's above my clearance. I don't know if I can refine that and pop that over in
you
your
can
console.
find where it was, yeah, and there is the security lockout, clear as day.
Captain,
you want to input your security code, Captain?
Oh yes, sorry. I will. I think in this case we will. There we go.
Your security code, and
1, 2, 3,
it remains
4.
locked out.
Oh. Okay, I'll get them to reset my password by sending it to my email that I remember.
There's a substantial amount of information regarding transporters being used for the purposes of crossing over between universes. Certainly, certain Terrans have used transporter devices in order to create the crossover principle. However, you need a transporter pad both ends in order for it to work. And there's also a report, although it is a hearsay report, it's not definite, but there is a report that Terran transporters have been altered massively to disable this from being able to have from just any transporter pad. Also, it would mean leaving the ship behind.
Yeah.
So don't know how Wraal would feel about that.
Yeah, I was asked to bring it back in one piece, preferably. Well, that was the indication.
Last option does come up. Story about a crossover that took place through the Bajoran wormhole when there was a plasma leak from the warp engine.
I have an idea.
As the runabout, in this case, it was a runabout, entered the Bajoran wormhole, it was leaking drive plasma, and that resulted in a crossover.
Right.
How detectable are Bajoran wormholes?
Well, there's only one. It's the Bajoran one.
Yeah. Would there be one here though in the mirror universe?
It should be the same then. There should be a wormhole in this universe as there is in ours. There's only one way to find out.
Indeed, in the library of information, yes. However, I mean, this was some years ago that this crossover took place, and basically it was the wormhole that connected the two universes. So the wormhole, at least appears in both universes. Whether it's the same wormhole, whether it's one wormhole leading to another, is very unclear. But at the time, the Bajorans, and indeed the Alliance, which is the Cardassian Klingon Bajoran Alliance, were unaware of its existence.
I think. Sorry, go on, Davok.
Okay. Well, hypothesizing, but perhaps we find this Bajoran wormhole over here. And perhaps we may have encountered a ship with plasma weapons just recently. And perhaps there's a way of encouraging that ship to come and meet us.
This is not plasma weapons, this is leaking drive plasma. So this is like plasma fluid from the warp.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We've got that on board already. And
I'm not going. Is that in the warp core?
It sort of comes. It's from the pylons.
Not quite the core. It leads into the core.
Okay. Well, that is my forte.
This plan's sounding excellent, Davok. Do go ahead. You carry on.
Well, my plan got scuppered, so never mind.
I think you're onto something there. We could. So if we're trying to get home, and fundamentally we have to try and get home, we can either jump on a transporter pad and somehow beam through a thunderstorm and come out the other end, but that would require one Livingstone on one universe and one Livingstone on the other, because the only time that really happened successfully is between two enterprises. And both Livingstones are in this universe. So that's out of the question. I think the Bajoran wormhole is in this universe, the same as it is in our universe, and that if we get it right, we should be able to use it to get back to our universe. And if we're even luckier, the Terran Empire doesn't know too much about it in this universe. So as a result, I think it's worth, as we have evaded our pursuers for the moment, setting course for the Bajoran wormhole and engaging at warp. Helm, set course for Bajor.
And that is where we'll leave it for this evening. Woo! Gosh, wow, what a start.
That was quite a ride.
Yeah.
What happened? So many things happened.
I'll have to rewrite my notes. They're a mess.
Yes. I expect a report. Yeah, how are you going to do this with standees?
Yes. Challenge accepted.
Brilliant. Well done, everyone. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Wild ride. Wild ride. We're back.
Yay.
It's been a while. Yeah. How's everyone feeling about this?
This feels very open world, doesn't it? Open universe.
Yeah. First isn't particularly interested in going back to Bajoran space, but it'll be fine.
It'll be good in the long run, hopefully.
Does First have an outfit that's anything like 7 of 9s? This is a matter of general interest.
You'll have to wait and see.
Have we just acquired our sexy female character for a second series? Is that?
Well, the thing is, right, I don't know what a Jem'Hadar looked like, so I googled it, and then I'm querying your statement about the 7 of 9 outfit based on the images that I'm looking at. But is that the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
I was like, maybe I've looked up the wrong thing. I don't know.
Someone for Halloween will be doing a sexy Jem'Hadar, I'm sure. So.
I'd like to see the face makeup. That would be impressive.
Yeah. Or the 3D, like you did with
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be harder to achieve, but we shall see.
I imagine it would be. That'd be pretty.
At least you don't have to do the white tubes.
Yes. We have a Reggie, another Reggie.
Yeah. So what does Wraal and Davok think about first?
Well, it all took me rather by surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get a new character on board quite so quickly, but actually, yeah, this is kind of it's kind of what I was planning. It's kind of something I was planning to do anyway, just not to the same character.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, but no, I mean, as a Cmdr from the mirror universe.
What do you request asylum? I have no reason to say no, and many reasons to say yes. In fact, we've just pinched Mirror Liera's hired thug. I'm going to say that's a net win.
I'm surprised you haven't considered the possibility that First might be a spy.
Wow.
I'm sure Davok has, if he hasn't realised it just yet.
Well,
You basically said, yes, go over and sit by these nasty weapons.
I did wonder.
Here's our command codes.
I was going to ask, because is it typical for someone claiming asylum that you're like, come on the bridge, work on the bridge, that's fine, have all the access to all the stuff? Like, is that a thing, or do you mean like you can come and do some cleaning, or?
Well, she said she was sending over the chief of security. Well, I'm down a chief of security, so the situation's vacant and one pops in. Do you want a job?
So you would take some random Cmdr from a ship from the mirror universe?
Well, Reggie, as he said before, hasn't got many ambitions for promotion. He's quite happy being Reggie, so I know I'm not going to put his nose out of joint by getting a different chief of security.
Yeah, as Ben, we are Federation. We trust you.
Yeah, you just have to prove us wrong. Then we won't trust you.
They'll let children fly galaxy-class starships. Then anything's.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the command codes worked fine. So, yeah.
Well, of course it did. The command code, all the security codes for Livingstone are 1, 2, 3, 4. No one's going to figure that out.
It's a password.
Yeah. Password is password.
Like Paul says, though, needs to be vetted first. I think that would be a very wise move.
Sent to the vet. Yeah. Anything we've got on board is Bosh is the nearest thing to a vet.
Yeah.
She can go to a different medical officer, because I don't know if I've got the brain power to hold a conversation with myself. I'm not Ross.
Oh, see, I have conversations with myself all the time.
In different voices?
Yes.
Occasionally.
Well, I mean, First is not particularly verbose, so...
No.
Yeah. There's that. I'm trying to imagine like how First would get on with Bosh.
Disdainfully,
likely to break his nose again.
Yeah, I can't see that ending well.
I can see like a season 5 Bosh just has a full-on armored prosthetic because it's easier.
Yeah. That kind of.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I know we've really enjoyed this, and I hope everyone watching has enjoyed it as well. It's for those of you who are sort of late to the party, go back and watch the beginning on YouTube or on Twitch, because it's worth it.
New credits.
New and all that. So are we around in a fortnight? We're not sure for a fortnight yet, are we?
It's 50-50. I am definitely working in a fortnight's time. The hours I'm working are yet to be determined.
Cool.
We'll
So
keep you posted on the Discord.
Yeah.
That's it. Absolutely. In the meantime, live long and prosper, everyone.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
All hail the Empire.
Buy merch.